Good morning, guys. I just wanted to put together another video for you guys. Share some information with you guys and in reference to real estate investments and flipping properties. One of the main questions that I always get is how did you get started, right? Or another question that I get is how do you find your properties, right? So that's pretty much like the main thing is finding the property and then kind of figuring out what your equity is on what the property is worth after repair and what it's worth now and how much money it's going to take to fix. And that little gap there, that's your profit margin, right? So you got to kind of have all that in your mind. I'm going to, give you guys some tips and some ideas on how to put stuff together for that. I've created spreadsheets that I use, and then with experience, growing up, my dad was a handyman, so I saw a lot of what he did and how he did things, and so a lot of that experience. And then after you do a couple of flips, you start figuring things out. Like, hey, I'm always gonna need this. I'm always gonna need that. By square footage, I'm gonna spend this. So let me do it this way. So as each project goes along, you kind of start tweaking the way you do things and stuff like that. Like me, I'm still learning. There's things that I did in the last project that I might not do those things like that in the next project. So, so let's just touch real quick on getting the properties, how you get these properties, right? So, different people have different methods. Some people they do by tax certificates. They'll buy out tax certificates and then hope that that person or the owners of that property won't, pay those taxes within a certain amount of time, and then they kind of forfeit the property or whatnot. Another way is through absentee owners, people that own properties in different states, and they don't actually live at the property, or those properties were passed down to them, by will or death in the family or what have you. So a lot of flippers and investors, what they'll do is they'll reach out to these people. They'll reach out to these absentee owners either by mail or by phone or by email or whatnot, and they'll try to reach out to them and say, hey, look, your property's worth this much, or you owe this much, and we'll be able to help you out. Take it off your hands, and then those properties, they flip them. Then there's also what you call wholesalers, which is what I use. I've been pretty successful with it, with using wholesalers. And what these guys do, these are the guys that, the middleman, they'll approach someone that has a property that's in distress. Basically, these guys, you'll see their signs that say, we pay cash for houses, or we buy ugly homes or whatnot. They'll approach someone that's in pre-foreclosure or going through some financial situation, and they owe the bank money, so the bank wants to get paid. Obviously they have to get paid, so they'll be like, hey, you owe this much, we can give you that, so it won't damage your credit, or to help with not damaging your credit, and we'll give you X amount, to help you move on and go to another place. And then what these guys do is, in turn, they'll flip it. So in turn, it's a flip, but without fixing up the property. So they'll flip it, and they'll assign that contract or sell that contract over to someone like me, an investor that says, okay, you know what, they owe $50,000 on that property, and you guys are asking me for $65,000. The property's worth $190,000. There's still a gap there where I can purchase a property from you guys. You guys make your money. They get paid, so they're okay, and then I can fix up the property, and then I can sell it and move on and make some profit as well. So it's kind of a win-win for everyone. And then there are the direct guys, like I said, the guys that are flipping without actually fixing the properties. But it also takes a lot of work as well, a lot of marketing, online marketing, phone calls, mailers. But those are the guys that, will be like, hey, we buy ugly houses. We pay cash for homes. And they'll approach someone, like I said before, they'll approach someone and say, hey, you owe this much. You're going through a lot of stuff. You don't have the money to fix the property, unfortunately, to make it marketable. So we'll find you a buyer. We'll take care of you, give you some money. That way you can move on. And then we put whatever we need to put on top of that. So those are some of the ways that people find properties. Also, there's auctions, Hubzu, through county auctions. With those auctions, just so you know, it's kind of hard unless you have liquid capital, unless you have the cash available. Because, for instance, some of the counties, if you purchase a property within 24 to 48 hours, you have to have the full amount. If you don't have the full amount, then you forfeit it, and they charge you a penalty. So, in one of the next videos, I'll go through, financing methods and, methods that I've used that, and methods that I know that people have used to purchase the properties. All right. So, hope you guys have an awesome day, and just kill it out there.